On a quiet afternoon, a luxury car slowly pulled into a large mechanic workshop in the city. The woman inside stepped out wearing dark sunglasses. Her hands trembled as she removed them because standing in front of her, with oil-stained hands and a calm smile, was the man whose heart she once shattered, the man who paid for her entire education, the man she abandoned for a flashy Yahoo boy. Tears filled her eyes, but the moment she saw the wedding ring on his finger, she realized something painful. She had arrived too late. Many years earlier, in a small roadside mechanic shop, worked a young man named Tunde. Tunde never had the opportunity to attend school. After his father died suddenly when he was just a boy, life became extremely difficult. His mother struggled to feed him and his younger siblings. So instead of going to school, Tunde was sent to learn mechanic work. Every day he woke up before sunrise. His hands were always covered in grease. The hot sun burned his skin as he repaired engines by the roadside. Life was hard, but despite everything, Tunde had something rare, a kind heart. One afternoon, a young girl pushed her broken bicycle toward the workshop. Her name was BC. She looked tired and worried. The chain on her bicycle had broken, and she needed to get home. Tunde fixed the bicycle within minutes. But during their conversation, he noticed something. BC was extremely intelligent. She spoke passionately about her dream of going to university and becoming successful one day. But there was a problem. Her parents were poor farmers who could barely afford food. University felt like an impossible dream. Tunde saw the sadness in her eyes, and that moment stayed with him long after she left. BC began visiting the workshop often, sometimes just to greet Tunde, other times to bring him food her mother cooked. Slowly, their friendship turned into something deeper. They laughed together, shared dreams together, and one evening, sitting under a mango tree near the workshop, BC said softly, "Tunde, you are the only person who believes in me." That night, they both realized something. They were in love. But one evening, BC came to the workshop crying. Her university admission letter had arrived. It was her dream come true. But her parents had no money to pay the school fees. She was going to reject the admission. Tunde looked at the letter silently. Then he said words that would change both their lives. "Don't reject it," he said. "I will pay for your education." BC stared at him in shock. "But Tunde, you are only a mechanic." He smiled gently. "Yes, but I will work harder." From that moment, Tunde's life became a daily sacrifice. He worked longer hours than ever before. Sometimes he repaired cars late into the night. Sometimes he skipped meals to save money. He paid for BC's school fees, her books, her hostel accommodation, her transport. Whenever she called asking for help, Tunde never refused. His fellow mechanics often asked him, "Why are you suffering like this for a girl?" But Tunde would simply smile, "Because I love her." When BC arrived at the university, her world changed. She met new friends who laughed when she talked about her mechanic boyfriend. "Girl, you deserve better." Slowly, embarrassment began to grow inside her. She stopped mentioning Tunde to her friends. Then she began ignoring his calls. Whenever Tunde asked when she would visit him, she always had an excuse. But Tunde never complained. He continued sending money, believing that one day, everything would be worth it. 4 years later, BC graduated. Tunde was the happiest man alive. He proudly told everyone in the workshop, "My girlfriend is now a university graduate." But 2 months later, shocking news reached him. BC was getting married, not to him, but to a wealthy Yahoo boy named Kelvin. Kelvin drove expensive cars, he wore designer clothes, and he spent money like there was no tomorrow. Tunde felt his heart shatter, but he did not go to the wedding. He simply returned to his workshop and continued working. At first, BC believed she had made the right decision. Her new life looked glamorous. Luxury apartments, expensive vacations, designer handbags. But the truth about Kelvin soon appeared. One night, police officers stormed their house. Kelvin had been arrested for internet fraud and cybercrime. His accounts were frozen, his cars were seized, his friends disappeared, and suddenly the luxurious life vanished. BC found herself alone with nothing. Meanwhile, life had slowly begun changing for Tunde. Because of his honesty and hard work, many customers trusted him. One of those customers was a successful businesswoman named Amaka. She first visited his workshop to repair her car, but she kept returning, not because of the car, because of Tunde. She admired his humility, his intelligence, and his kindness. Eventually, love grew between them. A new beginning. Years later, Tunde's small workshop had grown into a large auto repair company, and one beautiful day, he married Amaka in a joyous ceremony. This time, he was not standing outside watching, he was standing proudly at the altar. One afternoon, BC visited the same workshop. She was desperate. She needed her car repaired. When she saw Tunde standing there confidently, her heart nearly stopped. He looked successful, happy, complete. But when she noticed the wedding ring on his hand, tears rolled down her face because she finally understood something. The man she abandoned was the man who truly loved her, and by the time she realized it, she had already lost him forever. Sometimes, the people who sacrifice the most for us are the ones we take for granted. But when we chase fake wealth and temporary luxury, we may lose the love that would have lasted a lifetime. And regret often comes when it is already too late.